My girl cheated on me with one of my friends.
I cannot find a loyal woman.
I still love my ex. Not really looking for anything in life right now other than just like goals.
I'm going Monumental here with another video. Was just scoping around the landscape, and I kind of starting to see kind of where I want my channel to sort of, I would say just focus on, just the direction of, my generation. I'm part of Gen Z. And I just really for the most part just want to see different ways that we can just speak on perspectives that, the negative sides, the negative aspects of the generation and the direction we're going in, really. Just trying to see better ways we can help each other out, in all areas, of course, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just all those major aspects. Just browsing through and I saw this video just talking about the red pill. I'm one of those people, I would say, that for the most part, I just like to keep a solid balance with things, not too far to the right, not too far to the left, especially when it comes to things like with the red pill. A lot of people think it's an extremely negative thing, and I would say the opposite. A lot of people think it's, they steer too hard towards it. You guys will see my perspective towards the video as you watch more, but just to preface it, I would just say I'm a very balanced guy. There's a lot of red pill channels that let me not say a lot, but there's a handful of red pill channels that I do watch. If you guys do want me to, talk more about them, I will. But that's really not the purpose of this video. I think a lot of them do help you out. It's just that you have to pick the meat off of the bones, and you can't just sort of overindulge. And when you do that, it kind of takes you to a mental place that you don't need to be in. So I will say it is definitely a possible thing to overdose on the red pill. But it's another one of those things where if you do take it and you, like I said, the meat, leave the bones, you definitely will improve your life abundantly in different areas. So let's go ahead and get this video started here.
My girl cheated on me with one of my friends.
I cannot find a loyal woman.
I still love my ex. Not really looking for anything in life right now other than just like goals.
I mean, one thing I will give him the credit of is he did actually take people off the street, your average everyday guy for the most part. I think the issue with a lot of these channels, at least I'll see the red pill, at least the most popular red pill channels is, especially when you take opinions from people off the internet, it's usually you're grabbing from the extreme. So on the internet, you're most likely, you're just gonna see the more extreme cases. You don't really find your average guy. For example, me as an average guy, I would never think to give my opinion on the internet, right? So like, let's talk about like an opinions feed, like a Reddit, for example, right? So I've been on Reddit for, I want to say the past 4 to 5 years. Haven't thought to give my opinion once. I just sit there. Anytime I need information, I scroll through, and I really think that's the average person. Even with things that niches that I'm extremely interested in, I don't really think to give my opinion because most people are just naturally consumers. I mean, we just sit back and just kind of let everybody give their opinions, and we kind of devolve from there. So for the most part, I think when it comes to the internet, online at least, you don't really see a lot of people, or at least the average person, giving their opinion. So I will give this guy credit where he is actually getting opinions from guys off the street.
Gains.
Guys are expected to be, 6 feet tall, 6 figures, and they're kind of shunned upon without it. And ultimately, life is more than that.
The biggest issue plaguing Gen Z is the belief that society owes us something by the virtue of existing. That's simply because we are conscious beings. We are owed affirmation, attention, respect, and love without any.
And that's definitely something I would agree with. That's actually one of the positives that I would say guys like Andrew Tate, and I'll say Andrew Tate because he's the most popular guy I think within the space, at least on a worldwide scale. I think that's one of the good things that he was able to emphasize that were positive. He spoke a lot about, guys, having to build your own life, forgetting about, getting everything, for free and earning whatever you do want. So that comes with respect, physically, earning the woman, earning the money, whatever you want in life, especially as a man, comes with earning. So I would actually agree with his take on this, where, a lot of us guys, the issue that we were having is thinking that the world is just, going to hand you things. So coming from me also, you're not going to hear that from me either. Yeah, nothing is to be handed from you. Everything is to be earned. Let's just go ahead and establish that concept now.
effort on our behalf to earn these things. One can see this delusion acted out through the cults of victimhood that we, Gen Z, so eagerly adopt. Fat acceptance, the obsession with trauma, the obsession with identity, aspects of feminism and the men's rights movements. Anything to
But if we're being honest here, a lot of those things that he just spoke on, right? So if we go back, those aren't things that we talk about in the red pill. Like, how many guys do we even talk about, fat acceptance? Like, come on, let's break it down. Who talks about fat acceptance in the red pill space? So, sometimes you have a lot of guys that are speaking on things that have nothing to do with the space. What is this fat acceptance? Like, let me go back and let me.
Gen Z so eagerly adopt fat acceptance.
I have never heard anybody in the space ever speak about fat acceptance. You guys can let me know in the comment section, but I've never heard anyone speak of fat acceptance within the space.
The obsession with trauma.
I don't know about the obsession with trauma. I am within the comment section of a lot of these red pill spaces, and I do look at what the average guy is saying in the comment sections, at least online, just to at least give myself as accurate as a
The obsession with identity.
All right, continuing.
Aspects of feminism and
I would say I am with the space. I never heard anybody speak about trauma. That's weird. Identity thing too. We don't talk about that within the space. Never seen anybody bring that up. These all seems like pretty liberal talking points. I don't know any people within the red pill space. That's the title of the video, and that's what we're speaking about. That's what I know about. Never heard anybody talk about that. The MGTOW movement is definitely a big thing. We're going to talk a lot about that in the future, but yeah, that is definitely a big topic. That's the only thing he was accurate about. But yeah, let's continue.
and the men's rights movements. Anything to exclaim the diluted generational ubiquity, my life is hard and I'm not getting the recognition I deserve.
And I mean, that's gonna be a big concept within the channel, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. Especially as men, I'm not sure where this was lost within a lot of us Gen Zers growing up, but that's definitely 100% true. Like, you will never get the recognition that you do deserve. I mean, and that if comes with when you do the work. You're never gonna get 100% of the rest the recognition. So a lot of that within yourself, it comes with self-work, you know, being able to understand yourself and giving yourself that credit, you know. Because at the end of the day, especially when you do things that are exceptional, I mean, when you think about the concept of that, the average person doesn't understand what you've done and the work that you have put in. So how could you expect to get the recognition if, you know, people don't even understand what you've done, you know?
Inversely, there are also ideologies to rectify this generational sin of pride. For every young person asking why society has let them down, there are also those who seek to change their lives through action and knowledge. These young people attempt to take off the rose-tinted glasses and shed the misguided expectations that have left them disappointed with life. They do this by adopting the harshest worldview possible, by seeing every aspect of personal relationships, romantic relationships, and society at large as an inequitable power struggle where only the coldest and strongest survive. This collection,
I don't really understand what that concept is. I think what he's trying to say here is more from the aspect of everybody just kind of trying to take advantage and sort of everyone's trying to attain as much value from all relationships as possible, which I mean, I do see that as a, you know, thing, but I don't really think that's a big deal within the space, at least. I would say, speaking on that, putting that within the simplest term, I would say the red pill does harp a little bit too much on, and this is something that Andrew Tate spoke about, is, you know, I don't want to use the term, you know, relationships being, I would say, just one-sided and you must receive as much value as possible. I think that kind of dehumanizes our relationships, especially friendships. Let's say you've had a friend for, you know, all your life. I don't think we should dehumanize relationships in that manner, but definitely, like I said, everything has a balance to it. You shouldn't be friends with people also that aren't giving you the value that you are, you know, that aren't giving the value that you're putting out. But again, we're talking about friendships here. Who thinks about, you know, a friendship from the aspect of, hey, you know, this person is not giving me this value, let's not be friends because it's unequal. Like, come on, like, let's be humans here, you know.
of hyper-rational worldviews has come to be colloquially known as the red pill. Many of us see this as the only path out of our malaise, allowing us to be invincible from heartbreak and disappointment. But is this school of thought really the saving grace it claims to be? Or does it leave its adherents with the same delusion it claims to cure? So
Yeah, this is definitely one of those questions where you definitely do got to look at yourself. You do average. If you ask the average single man this, I'm gonna be honest with you, and even me also. It's very hard to look at yourself and be honest with yourself and answer this question, as accurately. And because it definitely takes you having to be a little bit hard on yourself, and looking deep down and look at your faults and look at the negative aspects on things, and kind of give yourself. You have to look at yourself from almost a pessimistic standpoint, So, yeah, a lot of people aren't honest with this question. I haven't even seen the video yet, so I don't even know how the guys are going to answer the question, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be, a lot of them are going to put the answers on the outward world and not look within themselves. But honestly, guys, if we want to be honest with ourselves and we're asking ourselves these questions, and this is something that you're definitely struggling with, forming relationships and whatnot, 9 times out of 10 it is something that's within ourselves and not the outside world. I understand, the way the world is going, and I agree with a lot of you guys, but when it really comes down to it, a lot of this is self-work and just being the best versions of ourselves and putting that out into the world.
oh, are you single?
That's a loaded question.
I am single because I'm looking for the one.
There's not a lot of time in the day. Got a lot of things to get done. Life's just changing all the time. It's hard to stay in one place.
Taking the red pill implies shedding your old beliefs and adopting new ones that challenge everything.
And one of the issues that, I don't know, the red pill from the standpoint of what it is now in today's, everyday world isn't as deep as this guy is pushing it out to be. The red pill is mostly a relationship concept. I myself don't even look at the red pill much like overall, my overall world. I mean, there are different parts of it that you can take and put in different areas of your life, but for the most part, most people are using, the concept of red pill within relationships.
You previously knew. This is a reference to the Matrix, where Morpheus gives the protagonist the following choices.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Your new uncomfortable truths aim to set you free. This is what makes the red pill so pervasive, is it can be applied to anything, from diet to politics to economics to relationships. And although it's taken on a far greater meaning, the red pill has its origins in men's dating advice in online spaces. In this
So that is where it started. I think it was
context, you're shedding your previous.
If I'm not mistaken, Rollo Tomasi, he's the one that kind of put it out to the forefront. That's why they call him the Godfather for the most part. But from the research I have done about it, he didn't make it popular. It was fresh and fit. They kind of pushed him forward also as the Godfather of it, but he is one of the forefathers of it. He's been doing this since, I want to say, like the early 2000s. It just hasn't gotten popular before, fresh and fit came out, kind of did their thing there. So shout out to them boys there. I agree with a lot of their talking points there. If you guys want me to talk about, some of the concept they put out though, but I'm definitely pro them in certain aspects. Like I say, it's balanced everything. I'm a very optimistic guy, so there's a lot of people you can push forward in channels and concepts, and I can find you the positive aspect of it. So shout out to them.
In online spaces. In this context, you're shedding your previous beliefs on women and intergender relationships for something that feels and appears more real compared to the hokey Hollywood narratives we're all programmed to believe. Someone who has been red-pilled in this sense will undergo the following ideological transitions.
So looking back at these topics here, like I said, everything doesn't have to be so freaking extreme. Relationships have equal balance. Relationships aren't equal. I mean, a lot of these I do agree with. But I mean, like the whole alpha thing, it's a bit extreme. The concept of being alpha, that's one person within a social group. Everybody can't be that. Just be the best version of yourself at the end of the day. A lot of things are so extreme, we don't have to get here, just balanced everything. I feel like that's the answer to life. Almost that answer right there kind of, if you have a lot of questions in life and, concepts and whatnot, I think that's the answer to it. Just balance, man. I mean, you don't have to take things to so you don't have to take things so freaking extreme. Like, even if we go look at the whole emotional thing, you know, women hate emotional men and whatnot. There's a balance to that, you know. Women don't mind being cheated on. There's a balance to that. We don't have to be so freaking extreme. And I think that's one of the issues that, you know, got caught up with in the space. Everything is so extreme. You know, red pill guys, you know, want to be cheaters. Red pill guys want to marry a bunch of men. Red pill guys want to marry a bunch of women. You know, everybody needs to be alpha. I think that's a very extreme outlook of it. I don't think it's that deep, honestly.
Someone who has been red-pilled in this sense will undergo the following ideological transitions. This is the application of the red pill I'm going to be focusing on because it's the most. I recently made a takedown video on Pearl Davis, and that video got a lot of love and a lot of hate. Much of the hate came from the fact that I only really talked about Pearl and didn't engage with many red pill talking points. And then then it goes to green screen. There's a green screen next. I make that face and it like zooms in, and I like pop up like fast jazz. Okay, so there's two types of red pill talking points. The first is just stats. You read stats, you say the stats. It's just stats. Don't ask questions. The second type of red pill talking point is pseudoscience. Evolutionary pseudoscience that comes to you in visions. Now, to address the first, the statistics. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. I'm not gonna censor myself. Men have it rough. We're going through it, okay? Men are far more likely to be homeless, commit suicide, and die of a drug overdose. Women are increasingly more likely to be admitted to university than men, and more likely to graduate as men are dropping out of university at record numbers. Women are on track to outnumber men in university 2 to 1. Even though this ratio...
And that says a lot about kind of the direction our society is going in, you know? I mean, that's why as a man, I mean, your life is in your hands. I don't know what to say about that. Like, if you don't look at your life into your hands, no one else will. You got to be hard on yourself, and a lot. Nothing will be handed to you, and that's just what it is. Just accept it at the end of the day. No one cares. Even this guy over here, it seems like from his aspect, I think he's making the red pill out to be extreme. Like, again, I didn't really watch the video yet 100%, but it seems like he's making the red pill out to be an extreme, you know, negative thing. But even he's spitting out those facts, and I mean, he doesn't even seem to be very, you know, he doesn't seem to be sympathetic about it. I mean, he's just speaking about it.
Was equal 40 years ago. Men are more likely to be sentenced to jail than women are for the same crime, and are sentenced to serve 63% longer amounts of time than women are. Also, we're far more likely to be victims of a violent crime. This whole thing about walking home at night, how scary that is. Just statistically, men have to deal with that more than women. I could make an entire video just listing stats like this. There's so many of them, man. But there's one major issue with these statistics. You only ever hear about them as a counter argument to feminists. No one talks about men's issues as independent. They're only ever used as counter arguments. The red pill teaches you that women are our oppressors, and that the world is becoming.
Yeah, the red pill doesn't teach that. Let's slow down here. I mean, one concept I will let you guys know here now that I believe in is I don't think women have any control in your life. A woman can't control you, no way, either physically, emotionally, mentally. I don't think women are able to have any control of your life. So if you are one of those guys that are claiming that, and you know, you kind of use that as an excuse, you just got to stop that now. You just take control of your life. That's pretty ridiculous hearing that even from him. Like, come on. I don't think I've heard that concept. And yeah, women are not your oppressors. You're your own oppressor. Let's just go ahead and set that concept straight right now.
Completely gynocentric. That's an ideologically lazy narrative, and it weaponizes
that's just not the narrative, but yeah.
Your anger and your depression for clicks. And in contrast to that, the truth is complicated and unmarketable. There's a myriad of political, economic, and societal reasons all intersecting that are causing the malaise of young men. The more we frame men's issues as the fault of women, the farther we get from an actual
bro, no one is framing men's issues as the fault of women. Let me know in the comment section if you guys disagree with me, but I haven't heard of that. I don't see that anywhere. I just think the world as an overall whole just don't care about men and the development of your average man anymore. But I don't think women have any control of that. Actually, I would say a lot of us as men are allowing women to have more and more control of that. But like I said, I don't think it's women's fault or women have any control at all. That's just my perspective on that one.
Solution. But the red pill doesn't want solutions. The red pill just wants to be right. This mentality leads us to the second type of red pill talking points. This is where you're gonna find all your classic pseudoscientific evolutionary psychology. Don't trust women with tattoos. Don't trust women with body hair, piercings, or women who went to university. This is a hold on, let him say it again. women with tattoos don't.
I agree with that one. I'm gonna be honest with you. I agree with that one. Again, when he says trust, I don't know who he means by trust, but I mean from the aspect of being and we'll talk about relationships in the future, but when it comes to being in relationships, and I believe relationships to be extremely important. If you are going to be in one, you need to at least be in the best possible situation you can be in, and you need to remove as many, I want to say, outward forces that could put your relationship in detriment. So that tattoo was one I do agree with that one, honestly.
Don't trust women with body hair.
I don't know about that one. Never heard that concept at all. Again, I'm very heavy in the space. Never heard that at all.
Piercings, or women who
piercings one half and half. I've heard it a little bit. Guys really don't talk about a lot of these things. It's more about, I want to say, lifestyles and the way mentally.
went to university. This is a perfect example of conspiratorial thinking. Humans think in binaries. Humans think in dichotomies. We don't really fill in the space between yes and no. And that's why conspiratorial thinking is so easy for us, and also a process called if-then thinking. Here's a great example.
Before you even continue on that, so yeah, definitely, like I was saying, the whole balance concept, yeah, that's I want to say one of the biggest issues within the space, just the issue of having balance. So even, for example, let's use what he just said about the whole tattoos thing. Yeah, that is a big issue. So I think tattoos 100% are a big red flag. If you are looking to get into a serious relationship, that's one thing you definitely should look at. But right, the balance of it. I mean, you don't want somebody with 2 full sleeves and a face tab, but at the same time, if a girl has one minuscule, I don't know, script from the Bible, or her I don't know, maybe her initials or her mom's name written in a hidden place. I mean, come on, guys. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. Are you really? Most guys aren't even going to disqualify a woman for that. And that's the funniest thing too, I've noticed, right? So a lot of us, we will sit here and talk about, hey, we'll do this. If a girl does this, we do this. But in that situation, when it actually happens, a lot of us don't even put our foot to the fire, or we don't even put our money to where our mouth is. I mean, if a woman's half decent and she has a pretty decent personality, she teaches well, I mean, we pretty much accept her for what she is. So I also believe, I mean, the red pill, a lot of it is just guys, we just like to sit back and just talk about our, how we feel and how we think and our perspective of things. And a lot of these concepts we're talking about, we don't even hold ourselves to the fire. We don't even do these things that we're speaking about. It's like a lot of guys talk about this whole tattoo thing. I mean, if you find a girl, she has tattoos, she's very attractive to you, she makes your life better, you like her personality, 9 times out of 10, most of these, I'm talking about even the red pill guys, you're gonna go with her. You might even put her in a relationship. So I don't even understand where a lot of us go so extreme into not liking certain things and this and that, and whole time, when it actually comes down to it, we don't even put our foot to the fire,
If the government implements gun control laws, then the government must be planning some sort of population control. We don't think about the in-between of those two processes. It just seems like a natural next step. It's really easy to come to that conclusion. Another example, if most women gain custody of children, then women must be out to rob men of their resources. See what I'm saying? Same thing. It's an easy jump. There's no golden rules with people. They're as complicated and as nuanced as...
And I agree with him on that. Yeah, definitely. Again, everybody's different. People are balanced, right? So I mean, the world isn't so cut and dry, get to know people. I think we're dehumanizing ourselves. That's one of the main negative standpoints of the red pill. We're starting to dehumanize ourselves a little bit and dehumanize the people around us. I mean, the women are human beings too. They have emotions. Let's try to balance it out here. That's what I'm saying.
You feel yourself to be. Believing that you can predict somebody's behavior based on observations and statistics is as delusional as believing that women will like you if you're just a nice guy.
Which is true, but I will say that patterns do happen, and at the end of the day, I mean, we can't take what he's saying 100% also, because then we have to go to the other extreme. So what are you telling us now? So basically, I should take everybody for their word and deal with everybody from a sort of a fresh slate. If you do meet people, and certain people do have certain traits. So if you dealt with a certain kind of girl and you've had a negative experience with that quote unquote type of girl, you meet a new girl, you see those traits. It's called pattern recognition. All of us have it. All our brains have it. Even this guy, if he was to be in that situation, he would see the exact same thing and he would make the same decisions. You're an idiot if you don't see and use the pattern recognition within your brain. So He's taking it to an extreme. I say there's, again, a balance to it, right? So every girl isn't the same, but if you start to see patterns that you had, for example, your ex, and certain actions and attitudes and, you know, traits, then yeah, I think you 100% should follow your gut there and make the decision that you need to make, you know?
Of course, you just never talk to women. In that case, they're as evil as you want them to be.
People want what they can't have. We're straying away from the path of what's important, and ultimately that is two people connecting. With hookup culture, we have so much access to so many people. One issue
And yeah, that's before we even talk about the whole hookup culture thing, the whole thing about connections, right? So yeah, I agree. It is definitely harder and harder to make connections with people, but I would say, I mean, if you want my opinion on it, I think if you work on yourself, create yourself to be the best version of yourself, I think the world, this is one of the concepts I do follow in the world. Everything is definitely sort of spiritual before it gets physical. If you definitely do put the best energy out there, the best version of yourself, you talk to people from the most optimistic standpoints, you will have a better life and you will form great relationships and great connections with people. And this is coming from someone that, I mean, I didn't look at the world that way, and I started to kind of change my mindset, you know? Look at the world as optimistically as possible. Speak to people optimistically, you know, never have an expectation for things. Actually try to form bonds. Trust me, you will meet good people. But another thing also is a lot of us guys, we talk to one or two people and then we stop when talking to people. Hey, this person wasn't that good, or that didn't work out. Oh, whatever, I'm not gonna do that anymore. We can't look at it like that, you know? You kind of have to continue to put the work in and put yourself out there. Trust me, it will work out. And a lot of the times you will form the relationships and the bonds that you are looking to do. You just have to put the work out there and put the most positive energy out there along there with it.
Now, oh, I'm just gonna move on from you.
Do you feel like you made mistakes in your previous relationship that you wouldn't make now, like you grew because of it?
Yes, yeah, I did grow out of it too. If I do marry again, remember, marriage is a holy thing, bro. So if you get married, you have to take the relationship very seriously.
We are stuck in the never-ending march of time, and things just keep.
Yeah, I kind of think we're in a period now where, like, especially within Gen Z, the relationship thing is just gonna, like, it's just cycles now at this point. I genuinely think this, and this is a concept in my mind. I say that I don't think most of my, I mean, even millennials aren't getting married anymore. So Gen Z definitely isn't getting married. Like, you'll see the smallest, I mean, out of all generations, you will see the smallest amount of long-term relationships in Gen Z because it's so difficult. The world is so fast-paced. No one kind of wants to, you know, put to the fire and, you know, go through things and see it through. You know, the first issue, and that's, a lot of us guys do have that issue, you know, see the first problem in a girl, we kind of leave her alone and don't really work through it. I think that's one of the biggest issues, and we will continue seeing that. One concept I do want to put within the channel is I'm just about adaptation. I'm not one of those guys that's going to be like, I mean, from an older standpoint, hey, you know, you guys see it through and, you know, you should try your best to make your relationships work. I don't agree with that. I think we should adapt within, you know, the world we live in. And if the other party isn't, in which I don't think, I mean, from even with the women I've dealt with, you know, in the past, it's not the same thing there, right? Most women aren't going to make it work with you. The first time, like I'm saying, same way the men are, the same way the women are, you know? So if things don't work out, she's not going to see it through. I don't think you should continue to put the effort there also. So I'm just all about adaptation also. So within the world we live in, we got to continue also to understand when it is time to cut your losses and balance that out. But also we shouldn't be cutting our losses too fast, you know? So like I said again, balance. Assertiveness is definitely a big issue within our generation too. Don't see a lot of guys very assertive, and that's just not even only with women, just with overall life, you know. And that's back to what I was saying earlier, you know, just taking hold of life and accountability. That all goes back to assertiveness. So, I mean, yeah, he's right on the whole assertive thing, but these are just, I don't know, man. It seems like such simple subjects and topics. I kind of want to dive a little deeper with you guys, you know. I mean, we'll talk more about other stuff, but I'll catch you guys later. Definitely send me some more you know, video suggestions. I'll definitely look at it. Put your comments down below, see which, you know, just to see what you guys have in your minds. What do y'all think? What's your aspect and what's your perspective on the red pill, and how has it helped you? You know, what effects do you think are negative and what do you think are positive? Go ahead and hit a like, you know, shoot me a subscribe, and catch y'all later.